This episode sponsored by Bazinga Laboratories, BazLab, creating sleek, stylish, shiny mega robots, standing for justice and freedom, making the world a better place. Bazinga Laboratories, technology in action.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of In the Toy Box, where the toys are the stars. I'm Kevin, here with Matthew, and today we're talking about Shogun Warriors. So what exactly are Shogun Warriors, Matthew?
It's a good question.
It is.
Shogun Warriors are not, people think they are like Transformers. They're not. Transformers are totally different. They can transform into something else like a truck or any type of vehicle.
Yes.
Shogun Warriors are the vehicles. They're based on cartoons in the 1970s back in Japan.
Okay.
And that's where the toys actually originated. It was in
Gotcha.
Japan, early 70s, by a company called Popy or Poppy, depending on how you pronounce it. When they got to the United States in the late 70s, Mattel acquired and manufactured them. And they produced, let me see, it was 3-inch Shogun Warriors, 5-inch, and then the jumbos, which are over 2 feet tall.
So the 3-inch and the 5-inch, those are like metal mostly, right?
We're die-cast metal.
And then the big ones are all like a blown plastic, you call it? Like a...
They're a hollow, thick plastic, very durable. It's like, how you could say, it's pretty similar to like a shampoo bottle.
Yes,
It's like,
gotcha.
like that type of thickness.
Sure. So let me get this straight. These are robots?
Not really, no.
They're not robots. They are a manned machine. So usually there's somebody piloting these
Right.
robots, if you will. I'll probably keep calling them robots throughout the show, unfortunately.
I do myself as well. Each robot, like you said, has a pilot. The first wave of jumbos that was released in the United States by Mattel was Mazinga, Dragon, and Raideen.
And look at the size of these things.
These are really cool. And the best thing about these is the features that they have is that they have like a spring-loaded mechanism where they can fire either missiles or their fists. And I think that's really cool. As a matter of fact, Mazinga has the removable brain ship.
Right.
So you can actually see, you can't see the pilot, but you kind of like imagine the pilot's in there somewhere.
It makes sense that the pilot's in the ship, puts it into the head, and now he's inside this robot.
Right.
And, from there on, he's got this massive thing that I don't know what he's doing with it. So are they supposed to be on Earth and space? Do you know anything about that?
Depends on the cartoons, and I didn't really know too much about the cartoons.
Okay.
I believe a lot of them were like from other planets,
Yep.
and then came to
Yep.
Japan or something like that.
Gotcha.
It was just, But as far as the toys, I mean, I know a lot about the toys.
Yes.
I mean, when I was a kid, I saw the very first commercial Mattel released with the jumbos, and I was like, wow, I mean, these toys are as big as the kids. So right away I was just like really excited about getting these. And so as a kid, when I did receive my first one, I mean, I was not only excited about the toy itself, but just the packaging, the box itself is like very colorful. I mean, as you can see,
Absolutely.
the Shogun Warriors loaded with colors. The box is the same way.
Yep. Super bright, and they all look shiny and just like demanding your attention on the box.
Exactly.
And they have these awesome names.
Yeah.
Right? You got Raideen, you've got
Dragon,
yeah.
and Mazinga.
Guy King, is that one of them?
Guy King's behind you, yeah.
That's like the second wave, I guess,
The
right?
second wave that Mattel released was Guy King. They reinvented Mazinga. They took the shield off of him and just had a sticker shield. And then the third one they produced was Godzilla, which was almost 2 feet tall. Yeah. So that's what we have. Shogun Warriors.
Shogun Warriors, get ready for more of them.
Exactly.
The first step in making a wearable Shogun Warrior mask was to draw a rough sketch of what I had in mind. This design is basically a combination of Raydeen and Mazinga. For this project, I used 2 different sizes of high-density EVA foam. I first sketched my design onto a large piece of 1/4-inch foam and cut the main part of the head out with some scissors. Using a craft razor, I cut out some eye holes and even fashioned a nose and some forehead circles. Hot glue was used to attach all pieces of this mask. Next, I made a shroud, much like the one Raydeen has, out of thinner 1/8-inch foam to wrap around the mask and meet at a point in the front, like a crown. And I added a rectangular spike placed on the top of the head. Using multiple pieces of different size foam, I created a mouthpiece reminiscent of medieval knights' armor, much like the mouth area of Mazinga. 2 identical upward sweeping horns were placed on either side of the mask's shroud. The next step was priming the foam with Plasti Dip spray. This allows for an easier application of paint. Light gray was used for the main portion of the face. Then yellow for the upsweeping horns. Red for the center spike and forehead dot. And a royal blue for the mouthpiece. Multiple coats of acrylic were needed for the red and yellow portions. Now the helmet is complete and ready to wear. I feel like a real Shogun Warrior. Almost too real. Whoa. Whoa. Wait. Wait. Come on. No! We're back and we're joined with fellow Shogun Warrior enthusiast and Grendizer specialist, Dan.
Grendizer was always my favorite Shogun Warrior growing up. There used to be a cartoon on called Force 5 where they had 5 different, basically giant robot cartoons, one for each day of the week. Grendizer was the best. I mean, look at him. He looks pretty cool.
He's sweet.
And just based on all this, he, like Matthew said, he had the best story, and he also kicked the most butt. He had the biggest variety of weapons you could imagine. Like, on the spaceship portion, he had at least 3 or 4 different things he could do, and then in fighting mode here, he had like a whole variety of weapons. He was just the coolest.
Dan, maybe you can tell us a little bit about who is Grendizer?
Grendizer was a robot that was piloted by Duke Fleed. He was the Duke from Planet Fleed, which was invaded by the Vegans. He took the robot and escaped as his planet got destroyed. He hid out on Earth, and he used the Grendizer robot to defend Earth from the Vegans after the Vegans discovered Earth and said, hey, let's invade them too.
So Grendizer, piloted robot just like all the other Shogun Warriors,
Yes.
and is used to defend Earth against basically an evil alien army, if
Correct.
you will. Right on.
Yeah.
And what do we have here for toys like that, Matthew?
But this time, along with goes along with the story and the
Yep.
toys, is that Grendizer traveled around in a spaceship, a UFO.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then he had other spaceships as well, but that's the one that actually.
Because he's also known as the UFO robot.
I think so. Yeah,
Correct.
on the toys he is anyway.
Okay. So right here we have a little bit of a dam, right? Because
Yep.
he was situated on Earth. Hideout was like a dam. And you had a little ship, the UFO, if you will, would bring Grendizer right in here to where he wanted to go, drop him off, and
Right.
you know, you're kind of in battle mode, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And so then you have some other things here, right? You have some accessories that kind of reflect what he would use in battle.
Yeah, Grendizer had a lot of weapons. This is, one of his favorites was the double harken, or double sickle, they called it in the American version. He also had all kinds of like lasers and things he could shoot. And the spaceship itself had some weapons on it as well.
Gotcha.
Usually when he was in the spaceship, he'd be fighting other UFOs from Planet Vega, but then when they came out with their big robot monster, he'd have to go into Grendizer mode to fight the big robot.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. And he has different names, correct, too?
Yeah.
Matt knows.
I think I do.
Yes.
You said that Grandizer was the U.S. version.
Correct.
Grandizer is the Japan version.
Yep.
Goldorak is the French version, and Goldrake is the Italy version.
Goldorak, Goldrake.
Goldrake.
Gotcha.
Italy, right? That's what I said.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if there's any more.
Right.
If
could
they
be.
kind of combined all those four and made another one, I don't know. But yeah, this out of all of them, this is my favorite backstory to any of the. I guess my favorite cartoon as far as all of them. You know, the Shogun Warrior series. And as a kid, I didn't really know the cartoons existed. I was just more, crazy about the toys.
Yep.
So the Shogun Warrior right there that we were talking about, that's the Jumbo Shogun Warrior, and then we have other, various ones, behind us and everything, different sizes that obviously do different things.
I think the 2-foot version wasn't available in the United States. I
That's
believe.
true. Yeah.
Some smaller versions were. But
Gotcha.
Not that guy.
Yeah. You said maybe the 5-inch version Mattel made
Yeah,
or
there was
something. One.
there was a 5-inch die-cast version, and I actually had, and I didn't know about like the background of his story before either. But I actually had the little UFO with a little Grandizer. He was a little bit smaller than the 3-inch, and when you press the button, he would shoot out of the UFO.
Right.
And I believe he had like the wings of the UFO came up, and actually you could fire the missiles off on that as well.
Gotcha.
And then we have a more detailed version, updated version of that.
Now, what about the toys? You think the toys are pretty cool too, or do they reflect the awesomeness of the show?
The toys are pretty accurate. I mean, that's a cool looking toy. As far as the variety of weapons, it'd be impossible to
Yeah, we're not getting beams. He has beams
exactly.
and stuff.
He's not going to shoot out lasers or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty sweet looking toy.
So yeah, that's the pretty much the story of Grandizer and Shogun Warriors.
Yeah. A huge thank you to Dan for joining us
Yes,
on
thanks
this,
a lot.
Thank you
this
for having
segment.
me.
Today we have custom Shogun Warriors. Now let's talk a little bit about what makes these custom toys.
Sounds good to me.
Now, just to get a clear definition, custom toys can be anything from, in this case, different decals, different accessories. It's not necessarily taking a toy and producing it from scratch.
Correct.
Kind of like what you did with,
With the monster episode?
With the monster
And
episode.
Phantasm?
This very talented person.
Oh.
He just molds his own toys here.
Stop that. But what you have here is basically, these are the original 3 Shogun Warriors
From Mattel.
from Mattel.
Yep.
And what did you do to make these custom?
Okay, what I did was I took a basic Mazinga,
Yep.
and since you can acquire different parts, I made him a blue Mazinga. So what does that mean? He's got all blue missiles, which are custom.
Yep.
He's got blue swords, which is custom. He also has a vintage blue fist shooter.
Okay.
Now this is an actual piece from Japan, the ones that they sold. So it's not it's a custom piece, but it's not. It was sold to go along
Gotcha.
with the Shogun Warrior line.
So is that a Mazinga fist from Japan, or is that a fist from another Shogun Warrior that you just added onto this Mazinga?
They would sell Shogun Warriors in Japan. They had one that they sold, and you would actually have to buy these parts.
Oh.
So you actually got one Mazinga that just had just regular fists.
Gotcha.
And he didn't shoot anything, so you had to buy these as accessories.
Gotcha.
So that's what this is.
Was his colorway blue on the arms as well to begin with, like the light blue?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, all the molded pieces were actually original.
Gotcha. But you have blue decals.
Exactly. All
blue
the
missiles.
This would normally be red, and it's blue.
Okay.
So that's why I call him Blue Mazinga.
Now moving on to Dragon, correct?
Dragon. What we did with him was I definitely put different decals on him. They had different color decals. He doesn't have this many decals on the original on his face, which I went crazy with.
Yep.
And he doesn't have a fist shooter like Mazinga normally. So what I did was I got this custom part and I added it to him because I thought it would be perfect for him because he's red orangey.
Absolutely.
And this would be perfect, and it kind of goes well with him.
Yeah, I love the fists that do shoot the missiles. Very cool.
Yep.
So, and then you have like you said, all the extra decals. So he didn't normally have a bunch on like the horn kind of part of his head.
No,
Gotcha.
and even on the face, he's got like black decals going up his face, and I thought that was really awesome looking. I thought that added to it.
Yeah, he didn't normally have those?
No.
That gives it more of an aggressive look, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And then Raydeen over here, what have you done to him?
Him, I just call him the Yellow Raydeen.
Yellow Raydeen.
Pretty much everywhere he would normally have red decals are now replaced with yellow.
What about this Axe 2 thing?
The Axe fist, which shoots off, is a replication of the original. The only difference between that one and the original one is that this one spins when it's on the fist.
Right. So you can actually move it around.
The original one, when you lock it in the spring-loaded mechanism, it just locks in place until you fire it with the push button.
So on this, you get the yellow striping, you get the yellow on the chest, you got the yellow stripes around the wrists.
Right.
Even on this part, I believe, you got these stickers along here.
Yep.
So you get some yellow on like the diamonds.
Yep.
It looks great because obviously he has some yellow attributes already with the horns. And
And there's
really
different decals available. So you could make like a yellow Raydeen, a blue Raydeen, or whatever,
Right.
They're accessible. But one last thing I wanted to say about as far as customizing was I have noticed some people who, when they customize these robots or these Shogun Warriors, they paint them. And I've seen them painted, and it looks more like a model, like a monogram model or a Revell model, and it just doesn't. It takes away from the authenticity of this toy.
Right.
So, I mean, if anyone knows anything about Shogun Warriors, and I'm going to tell you if you don't, is that these have like what they call a dull shine.
Right.
They're not super shiny, but there is, if you look closely and you get closer to them, they have a little bit of a shine to them, and you want to maintain that when you're customizing these.
Agree.
But that's all I have to say about them.
You heard it here first. Customs.
Custom Shogun Warriors.
What could be better than a jumbo Shogun Warrior? How about adding a little Star Wars spice? Introducing the Super Shogun Boba Fett. Produced by Super 7 and Funko. The cool cardboard shipper shows a line drawing of its contents. Inside that is another box that houses our mammoth Mandalorian. It showcases a picture of our famed figure against a space-filled background with Fett's ship flying by, emblazoned with metallic lettering that says, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, where I first saw this cool-looking character. Inside is the 2-foot-tall Shogun-style figure. His authentic outfit includes boots with roller skate wheels, of course, pants with plenty of pockets and yellow knee pads that also hold the included missiles. His oversized utility belt hangs between his codpiece and armored chest plates. Bounty hunter symbols are seen here and also on his arms, which are flanked with yellow shoulder pads. Above his gloved hands, he sports 2 lower arm gauntlets, one that can even shoot missiles. I really love the look of the iconic Boba Fett helmet, which includes a distinguishing ding and rotating eye scope. His jumbo jetpack also reveals a spring-powered rocket launcher. This limited edition beefed-up bounty hunter is a head-turner for Star Wars and Shogun Warrior fans alike.
Get a Robo is a Japanese cartoon from the 1970s featuring 3 ships combined to form Dragon, Liger, and Poseidon. Dragon has rotating saw blades and is armed with double tomahawk boomerangs. Liger is known for speed, equipped with a giant drill, armed with collapsible missile launcher. Poseidon is armed with 2 large missile launchers. His armor, when lifted, reveals a disc-spinning hurricane weapon and track treads for all-terrain travel. Get a Robo from Bandai.
Welcome to the virtual tour of Bazinga Laboratories, where we specialize in high-grade machinery. We work hours endlessly to make the best possible robots for you at home. These are something that we really put every waking hour into, and we hope that you see that. My name is Professor Chogokin. Allow me to show you some of the prototypes we've been working on. Here, you have the Neo Bandai Mazinger Z in all its glory. 2 feet tall, beautiful red emblazonment. It's got a little bit of a ship in its head. That's its brain, also known as the Condor. This model also features firing arms. On my left, your right, we have the 2-foot-tall Hydreme Steel Jeeg. As you see, he's got some green helmet. He's got these white horn-like features, a yellow chest plate with some other details. And look at these shiny legs with the yellow detailing. A true marvel. Moving on, directly behind me, we have the 16-inch Marmit version of Mazinga and Grendizer. Mazinga, on your left, you can see, has these blue arms. Grendizer has the little red flares on his. Both arms move, and so don't their heads. Directly above them, we have the Hydreme version of the same models. You have the Mazinga on your left, and Grendizer on your right. Both are extremely posable, and they come with extra accessories. We here at Bazinga Laboratories will not stop until you get exactly what you want. Let's take a look at some of our older models. Here above me, I have the 5-inch Mattel version of Poseidon and also Raider. They're a metal and plastic version. They're somewhat posable, and while they might be small, they're big every other way. Look at these things, metal, shiny. That's what we do here at Bazinga Laboratories. Last, but certainly not least, we have the 2-foot Mattel Dragon. As you can see, he's painted in a lovely red and blue. He also features an axe throwing mechanism with a lovely blade. And on this lovely blade arm, you have a star shooter. Allow me to show you how these work. The star shooter first, if you will. And now, the axe. Another thing I wanted to point out about Dragon is that he has roller skate wheels. Now this is a very common feature on all of our 2-foot models. We include that without question. I want you to take some time and admire all the things we have here for you. Whether it be a 2-foot tall model, a luxury edition that has a spaceship in its brain, something that's ultra posable, something maybe not so posable, an extra small model. Rest assured, we here at Bazinga Laboratories will not rest until you have a quality product. That's all we do. For years and years, we've made the best in the business. It's quality, or my name isn't Professor Chigokin, but it is.
Bazinga Laboratories. Technology in action.
Hi, I'm Joe. My favorite toy ever was Shogun Warriors Jumbo Mazinga. As a child, I loved this toy. It's big, colorful, and lots of fun. It was my birthday, and my wife called me into the other room. And there was her birthday gift to me. I couldn't believe it. The Jumbo Mazinga I had as a child. I love it. It features a removable brain ship, rockets that fire, swords, and even rolling wheels. I was so happy, I felt like dancing to my favorite song.
Dance, 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 dance. I wanna dance with you.
Thanks for watching this Shogun Warriors episode.
Don't forget to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/toyshownow. That's it for today. I'm Kevin.
I'm Matt.
We'll see you next time.